We're here today to applaud the Nassau County Police Department and Madeline Singas and our partners in Pennsylvania for bringing this guy to justice. He turned himself in. He felt the pressure. Joshua Roston felt the pressure. It was out on social media. His face was out there. His name was out there. Just in the papers today, just on TV last night. He felt the pressure. He turned himself in, and he will pay for this heinous crime. This heinous crime of killing family man and immigrant Samal Dagdevaran, who was beloved by the community. I know I live not so far from there. I've used this gas station myself personally, as has Deputy County Executive Tatum Fox. And we all feel the loss, we all feel for the family, and are just, it's a very sad day, but it's really great that he's being brought to justice. For more details in the matter, I'd like to turn it over to the Police Commissioner.
Thank you. Before we get started, our prayers go out to the family of our victim and of course, to the community that had lost an individual that everybody was so in touch with from that area. The Nassau County PD Homicide has contacted the family. They are in Turkey. They are making arrangements. They are thankful for the work done by the police department and the district attorney's office, but it's kind of shallow in the fact that there is still a man and a family that's been destroyed for $22. I'll give you the recap on 1/14 of this week at 07:23 hours at the Pit Stop gas station at 1210 Grand Avenue in South Hempstead. Our victim, Samal Dagdevaran, 59 years of age from Levittown, was intentionally run over for $22 of gas. Later, he died and was pronounced at South Nassau Hospital. On that same day, we came to all of you and we showed you the video and asked you to go viral with that. That video went out through many different methods of social media, and we got a ton of tips that came in, and those tips led us to the recovery of our subject's vehicle in Pennsylvania. From the vehicle and other information we garnered, we learned his name, defended to be Joshua E. Ralston, 33 years of age. He has numerous addresses. He's kind of homeless, but the most recent was in Baldwin. We released that to the public. We again asked you to go viral with this. Just yesterday, we had over 24 tips come in. We worked both with the Pennsylvania State Police and the Philadelphia Police Department of the 35th District. At that time, sometime late last night, he turned himself into the police department. He felt, as you heard from the county exec, that pressure, his face being out on the news all over the country looking for this individual. He decided to turn himself in last night. The victory is kind of shallow, as I said before. The great work was done by Nassau County Police Department Homicide, Philly, and the Pennsylvania State Police, our district attorney's office. But a man's life was lost by a cowardly act. His family has been crushed because of this. And again, it was a senseless murder for $22. But I want to thank the public. We came to you earlier this month about the scam to our elderly. The tips came in. That individual was arrested. We came to you again with the video, led us to the car, and from the car, more tips led us to him, and that much information forced him to turn himself in last night. So our thanks goes out to the public for all that they've done. That assistance makes our department a much greater and our community relations much stronger. I'll now turn it over to the district attorney's office.
Okay, well, thank you, Commissioner. First, I'd like to commend the Commissioner on the outstanding work of the police department in identifying the suspect, getting a name, getting his picture, and then allowing that information to be disseminated so that we could make the arrest as we did. This is an incredibly heartbreaking case because it hits the home of all of us. This is a man who was at work at the gas station, minding his own business, just trying to get in a day's work for a day's pay, and unfortunately he had to interact with this individual who, as the Commissioner said, for $22, that's what he valued this poor victim's life at, ran him over and then began fleeing from the jurisdiction. And again, I would like to thank the public and all of our law enforcement agencies that made his apprehension possible. Again, we've got great eyes and ears in our county. As soon as people leave our county, it becomes a little more difficult. But thankfully, there are people who are vigilant. There are people who care. There are people who got us the information that we needed. He is currently under arrest. He will be extradited to our jurisdiction. He may waive extradition. We may have to file papers to get him here. We're in the process of doing that. I commend my team for the incredible vigilance and hard work that they do on this case and on every case. He faces a intentional murder charge. That's a 25-year to life sentence. He also faces leaving the scene charges, which could be consecutive time. We will look at this case. He will be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. Again, I'd like to commend the police commissioner and all of our law enforcement partners. And really, our hearts go out to this family who had to endure a most tragic loss. Thank you.
Any questions? Yes.
What was his record? Had he done this type of thing before? That is, trying to get gas, not paying for it, and fleeing?
He was just arrested on the 11th for stealing, I believe, his work boots in a store. He had been arrested earlier in the month also for stealing gasoline. So he does have a record of doing those type of crimes. Yes.
There was no license or registration. Did he have a driver or no? Yeah, did he have a driver's license?
I don't know if he had a physical driver's license. He did not have it at the time of his arrest. The car was unregistered and uninspected.
Do we know why he chose to flee Philadelphia? Did he have family there? Previously lived there?
He's had family there and friends in that area before. Nobody that we are aware of at this time are involved with trying to hide him from us.
So what's the timeline of events? Did he take off for Philadelphia right after the incident, or did he?
We're not sure when he left, but as you know, we came right to you Monday afternoon as quick as we could to get the video out there. We realize in today's world, there's no holding back with information. We got to get out there as quick as we can. We got it out. Everybody did their part. Information came in, led us to the vehicle. The next day, Wednesday, we found the vehicle in Pennsylvania.
Did he turn himself into Philadelphia PD?
That's correct. The station is the 35th district in Philly.
And where was it the car found?
Not too far from that same area.
Did his car run out of gas?
I don't know the answer to that question.
Did he have a job here?
Excuse me?
Did he have a job here? You know what he did?
No, from our intel, he had no employment at this time.
How important were the tips in terms of, how the guys tracked him down?
Absolutely incredible the amount of tips that came in here. Crucial to us solving and locating the individual. It's a big world out there. And he took off. Probably by Tuesday morning, he was gone. Wednesday, we found the vehicle. Thursday, we started to receive information. And then he turned himself in. We were in the area at the time, but he walked into the local precinct and turned himself in.
Commissioner, these choices, once his identification went out in public, is that pretty much the last straw for him? They had nowhere else to go?
Yeah, once he saw himself, wherever he was, sitting in some local bar or restaurant, and saw his face on TV, he realized, I got to turn myself in, and that's exactly what he did. He walked into the station house, identified himself to who he is, and he said that he was wanted in Nassau County, and they already knew because we had already been in contact with him.
Was he also pulled over in Philadelphia being caught without those license plates, but when that happened, it wasn't realized that he was the suspect wanted in New York?
There's going to be more to the investigation on the process of how everything went, the timeline, but we don't have any of that information at this time.
Do you know exactly where the car was found, though?
Yes, it was in Daverton? Avondale, Pennsylvania.
On a main road,
On a roadway, yes. Not a main road, but one of the more traveled roadways, correct.
off to the side of the road?
Yes, correct.
Do we know if it had broken down? I mean, I ask in all honesty if he had run out of gas, because I'd imagine he'd be
Good
afraid to go
question,
get gas.
right. We don't know the answer until we do the investigation. Crime scene will evaluate that. We'll know exactly why the car was there.
Commissioner, is this a new trend for the county? Again, second time in less than a month where you ask the public for help and you ask to flood the social network.
So
It seems like it helped.
when we first came into office, both myself and the county exec, we profiled our social media site. We told you that we are going to use social media as much as we can in getting the message out. We do Mugshot Monday. We had over 330 arrests last year because of Mugshot Monday. Tips that go out on Tuesdays. We realize there's a strong value in social media, and we use that value to help us and assist us in our investigations.
The word viral twice.
You know, we wanted to go viral, and it went out viral quick. They poured in after our press conference yesterday afternoon.
And the tips that you got, were they from like family and friends, people who knew this suspect?
I can't comment on where the tips. All tips remain anonymous. There is a $5,000 that was put up by the owner, and another $10,000 that was put up by our Crime Stoppers Board. So there's a $15,000 reward that is related to this investigation.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
When the car was found, it still had no license plate on it, so he's able to drive from Long Island to Philadelphia with no license plate?
I don't know the answer to that because it's still, that part of the investigation is still ongoing.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.